to the circus and things like that. And they wanted to see the tattooed lady and the fattest man in the world. Now, they're everywhere. And why not? It's their choice. Who am I to judge? Hey? I have a friend who's large. I don't like saying fat. I don't like saying obese. She's large, she's big. And she was talking to me last week and she said, you don't know how lucky you are. I'm going on holiday next week and they made me buy 2 seats on the plane. I said, what's wrong with that? She said, they're both windows. So, my name is Roy Walker. I'm from a quiet fishing village in Northern Ireland called Belfast. We're not dwindling anywhere. We had a suicide pact with Beirut for a while. But we're doing all right because we built the Titanic. I know what you're thinking, but it was all right when it left us. So now instead of shooting each other, they tell jokes about each other. They say 20,000 Protestants built the Titanic. Little did they know that 20,000 Catholics were building an iceberg. Can you give him something else to play with, like a cuddly toy or something? Hey, Baldy. Baldy. Yeah, can you shut up for a minute? Thank you. I could give you a real one if you want some to hit him on the head with. So, my dad was from Belfast. My dad was a war hero. One of the first ashore on D-Day. He got off in Dover. My dad was born without the index finger of his right hand. His trigger finger was missing. He was the worst shot in the whole army. They were leaving for the war. He went up to the commanding officer, sir, does this mean I won't be going? He said, no, it means you won't be coming back. He was taken prisoner by the Germans. This English fellow wanted to escape. What do we do? He said, we pole vault over the wire. If you touch it, the lights flash, the bells ring, the Germans come. The English chap went first, touched it. Lights flashing, bells ringing, big German came. Who was there? The English fellow went, meow. My father went next, he touched it, lights flashing, bells ringing, big German came. Who was there? My father said, it's another cat. I had a game show, do you remember? Yeah! 15 years on a Saturday night. Catchphrase. Thank you. What was my catchphrase? Don't tempt me! Say what you see. Yeah. What was the other one? It's... Yes. Good, but it's not right. It was such a pleasure to do it. It was so well received. And the guy that took over from me, do you remember, anybody remember him? His name is Nick Weir, he's from Australia, 6'6" he was. And he fell down the stairs on the first show. He did. Broke his leg. And I didn't even know them wishing wells worked. Right, here's some news for you. What do you need to get a game show? Well, lots of comedians were game show hosts back in the 80s and 90s. Apart from being your profession, your first name was very important. It only had to have 3 letters. So we had one Tom O'Connor, 2 Jims, Jim Bowen and Jim Davison, Two Bobs, Bob Monkhouse, Bob Holders. Isn't this amazing? Two guys named Les.
Les Dennis.
And the Days. And they said to me, what's your name? I said, Roy. He said, you've got it. You never know what the public are going to say to you on the game show. I said to Jim Bowen, remember Jim from Bullseye?
Yeah. Yep.
What was your most embarrassing moment? He said, I had a woman in the final. I said to her, the Grand National is a very dangerous race. Could you name another one? She said, the Taliban. Lovely table here. So he asked me my embarrassing moment. I said, I had a woman 9 months pregnant. Her tummy was out like I was expecting her baby at any moment, didn't want to miss out on winning some money to wet the baby's head. The producer came out and he went, we're under time, talk to her. I said, here you are, Margaret. Let's have a look at what you've won. You've won 8,700 and you've got a £10,000 holiday. You're expecting your baby at any moment. You're 9 months pregnant. What do you hope it is? She said, my husband's. I used to get mistaken for that guy. Do you remember him? What was his name? Ted Rogers. You know, I never argue with a public. A woman come up to me and she said, love your show, Ted. I said, thanks very much. What did you like about it? I didn't know why I said that. She went, oh, do you know what the end? Where you say goodnight to the deaf people. Hey, I was once mistaken for Bill Clinton. You know, remember President Clinton?
Oh, yeah.
Must be the hair or something, I don't know. I think he wore a blue suit. Donald Trump wears one as well. But Bill Clinton, he was good fun, wasn't he? Him and Monica. In Ireland, we call them the interlude between the bushes. Clever. I shouldn't really say anything. You just shut the microphone again. I shouldn't really say anything about Bill Clinton. He was very helpful in bringing peace to Northern Ireland. Women adore him. They asked a survey in Belfast, 100 women, would they sleep with Bill Clinton? 92 of them said, never again. They all seem to come to our little island. Eh? Trump's been, he wasn't president. He came, Donald Trump. Whether you like him or hate him, it doesn't really matter. He's a comedian's dream. For a start off, he's called after a duck and a fart. Sorry. I like because he's got an answer for everything, whether it's right or wrong, you know. So, do you remember when he was in the office before? He was always on about the wall with Mexico. Where'd you get the idea, Mr. President, for the wall with Mexico? He said, China. He said, Mr. President, there aren't any Mexicans in China. He said, there you go. Lovely old thing. I just live along the road. Livingston Downs. It's very posh there. We have the big issue to live in. I never take it. I always give him a pound and walk on. He ran after me the other day. I said, I don't want it. He should have gone up. Livingston Downs. We have a lot of elderly people there. They come there to die. And then they forget. I had to shoot a couple to start the cemetery. The outside world soon creeps in. Boots the chemist is being sued over a deodorant. Everybody uses them years ago. The manager said, "What's your problem?" He said, "It's the writing on the side, it's misleading." Read it out, what does it say? It says, "Remove cap and push up bottom." The manager said, "What's wrong with that?" He said, "Why do you have to take your cap off?" I discovered the third stage of senility in Lytham St. Anne's. I had to go for my eye test, and the girl said, "Your long vision's good, but your short vision you need glasses for reading." I said, "What do you call them?" She said, "Bifocals." I said, "What are they?" She said, "A dual purpose glass. You can wear them all the time, but when you want to read something, you just glance down and makes things bigger." You're making your own jokes up over here. So everything was all right till I went to the toilet and I happened to glance down. And I thought, that's never mine. So I put it away. And I peed my pants. It's no fun getting old. Has any of you guys been for a prostate examination? We get warned about that every day, don't we?
I have.
Eh? I found myself in the ward, there I was. You know, with that gown on with the strings at the back? It was cold, I was scared, not knowing what the result was going to be. And I'll tell you what, if you're ever in that situation and you drop something, never ever bend down to pick it up. Somebody will take your temperature. So there I am, lying there. The door opened, this fella come in. He was wearing a welder's mask. You know, one of those with a plastic flip-up lid. Green rubber gloves, green rubber apron, green rubber wellies. I thought he was going to clean out Chernobyl. He was strong, flipped me over onto my front. I said, "Is it going to hurt?" He said, "It might. I've got a quick acting painkiller here you can have." I said, "Okay," so I took it. And he gave me a glass of water, I swallowed it. He said, "However, it might have some side effects." I said, "What like?" He said, "You might get a strange feeling down round here, you know." I said, "I haven't." He said, "That's funny, 'cause I have." And he started examining me, went on and on forever. And then he left, and the nurse came in and said, "Who was that?" He was a big crowd. Was I driving the other day? I saw this field with a notice in it from the Foot and Mouth Disease Crisis. It tickled me. It said, "Eat British beef. You won't get better." You want us all to become vegetarians. I'm not a vegetarian, but I respect those who are. Do we have any in the room? Put your hands up, please. See that? They don't even have the strength to put their hands up. I don't like to eat meat that has been cruelly killed. So I always say to my butcher, have you got a cow that fell down the stairs? Vegetarian, it's a new word. It's an old North American Red Indian word for shit hunter. Lots of new words around at the moment. Somebody was introducing me to their child. They weren't married, and they said, "This is our love child." And I thought, that's a nice word. I like that word. It's soft and it's nicer than the old one. Doesn't work at football matches. The referee's a love child. I used to be on the old comedians back in the 70s. I'll be talking about them in a minute.
Don't do football.
I was talking to that fella, you know the guy from Little Britain, the bald-headed lad. I was talking to him just a few weeks ago, and he said, what's the difference between comedy today and back in the comedians' day? I said, education. He said, what do you mean? I said, oh, you have to go to university nowadays to become a comedian. Most of the guys from the 70s were working when they were 12 or 13. Oh, he said, were you a dropout? I said, no. I think it was cesarean. Just like you, I've got the travel bug as well. I like to be going somewhere. Have anybody ever been to the Disney in Paris?
Yeah. Yay!
I have too, yeah. I like Paris. My late wife and I went there for our 25th wedding anniversary. And we had frog's legs for the first time. And they taste like chicken, but they kick the peas off the plate. And I was feeling really great, and we went down to the Eiffel Tower, and I became quite sad because all around the bottom of the Eiffel Tower were little frogs in wheelchairs. Little blankets over them.
Oh God.
I like Italy. Have you been?
No.
It's lovely there, but they're always stuck with that stigma, the mafia. It doesn't bother me, the mafia. I've woken up with worse than a horse's head in my bed. Just on 2 cruises on Thompson's. The cocktail party was in the disco, the slip disc. Every time I put my glass down, somebody put their teeth in it. This old woman got me up to dance. Her hands were everywhere. I said, at your age. She died. I like India. I've been there. I went, the BBC sent us out there, the Marigold Hotel thing. And if you're thinking of going, it's hard to get a visa. You know, there's something in the interpretation from English to India that doesn't work. 6 times I applied for a visa. But then eventually I got one. I got fed up. I rang New Delhi to the embassy there, and they put me through to a call centre in Sunderland.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
So when I was with the comedians, we used to do tours and what have you. We went up to Scotland, and it's all right, lad. So we went up to Scotland, and I met this Scottish comedian. He said, "Does them English comedians still tell jokes about us being mean?" I said, "Some do, some don't." He said, "I said it's quite straight. They're a bit touchy about being mean. Where people in Yorkshire quite like it, you know, like to say how much and stuff like that." So he said, "My brother's a bit mean." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, he went into a card shop and he said to the woman, "Do you sell cards for bereaved people?" And she said, "Yes." And he said, "Would you swap it for a get well soon?" We went to Wales, the land of song. And Wales, all the signs are in Welsh as well as English. You know, we broke down in the middle of the night. I rang up the local AA. He said, "Where are you, boy? You look you, isn't it?" I said, "We're broken down in Welsh, Wales, in a village called Danger Goslow." He said, "That's danger go slow, you prat." The comedian's finished because of the Irish joke. Everybody was telling the Irish joke. The comedian was invented so as people from all over Great Britain and Ireland could come and tell jokes about what life was like where they lived in their accent. That was the whole idea of the programme. They all finished up, Paddy did this and Mick did that and Paddy did that. You know, and they missed the whole point. Like, this is a true Irish joke. Two Belfast lads talking together in a pub. One said to the other, "Where are you going next year for your holidays?" He said, "Scuba diving." "What, with the tanks on your back?" "Aye." "And the flippers?" "Aye." "And the snorkel?" "Aye." "And the big belt that goes round your waist with the weights on it to take you down to the bottom?" "Yeah." "I'd love to do that." "What's stopping you?" "Well, do you know whenever they're all ready, they always fall backwards into the water?" His friend said, "Yeah." "Why did they do that?" His friend said, "Well, if they fell any other way, they'd still be on the boat."
It does. He's taking the lift.
Isn't it amazing the volume of security we have to go in the world we live in when we're travelling? Hey, I'm always early and well dressed. I'm hoping for a little leg room or an upgrade or something. 20 minutes later, my trousers are around my ankles. I've taken my shoes, my belt, my phone, my iPad, my coat. I was wondering what the hell did I get dressed for this morning? And the questions they ask you, I'm not sure they understand what the questions mean. The questions like, has anybody you don't know ever said anything to you? I don't know anybody you don't know. Has anybody you don't know ever touched your luggage? I said, you have? Has anybody you don't know ever given you anything? Well, I was in the Navy. There was an American woman behind me. She heard my accent. She said, are you from Ireland? I said, yes. She said, gee, we love your waterproof crystal. And then she realised what she said. Oh, she said, I've made a faux pas. A faux pas? That's a new word. The fellow behind me said, don't worry about it, love. I do it all the time myself. Only this morning at breakfast, I was thinking of saying to the wife, pass some marmalade. Instead I said, do you know, you've ruined my life. You ugly old bag. Bit strong, huh? Apologies, ladies. But men are like that, aren't they, girls? Men are like that, aren't they, girls? Men can be cruel, can't they, girls? Women can be cruel, can't they, fellas?
Yes.
Easy. When we start going out with you, we use little animals as endearing terms. We say things like my little lamb, my little pooty cat, my little turtle dove. 20 years later, the animals get bigger.
Oh gosh.
You big fat cow. Move your fat ass. Yes, we say terrible things and call you a horrible name. But the next morning, we've forgotten about it, haven't we, lads?
Yeah.
Women never forget. They remember every word, every syllable, every insult, the time, the date, the place. We can't even remember being there.
Yeah, exactly.
Or even if it was you, we said it to.
We only say what we say.
That is true.
It's true. Who gave you a speaking part? We're from different planets. We're from Mars, you're from Venus. Difficult to understand each other. I sometimes think God invented sex so that women could have a good moan even when they're enjoying themselves. Heard a story about a couple married a long time, not having much fun in the bedroom. She heard at work about a new missionary position. She came home and told him. He said, what is this new missionary position? She said, I stay here and keep the house and the kids, and you bugger off to Africa.